is my model, Denise. She likes to wear a really textured look, sort of like a faux hawk with some bang. We're gonna taper the sides. I'm gonna bring it down into like a V. Keep it real feminine, nice and soft in the back. We're gonna add some texture to the top. Her hair is very thin, so I'm gonna show you how to add some texture to the top and still be able to create some movement with some shear technique. We're also gonna leave a little flare here to keep it also very, very feminine. We don't want to chop this off and make it look masculine with really, really hard lines. However, she does like to have this really sharp in here, and we'll make sure that behind her ears is a little sharp and create some movement to it. As you can see in the back here, it doesn't have a lot of movement. When I lift this up, it doesn't really stay, it falls. So we're going to add some texture to that so that we can get some lift and some movement with it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section her hair off because I really don't want to take anything off the top. I don't really want to affect my top. The other thing is when you're looking at the shape of someone's hair, you want to make sure that you're following that ridge. This is the parietal ridge. Wherever the scalp begins to turn away from the comb is where that parietal ridge begins. That's where the shape of this haircut is going to take place. So in here, what you want to do to identify where the parietal ridge is, you want to set your comb like where the ear is, and wherever the scalp or the head is turning away from the comb, so right in this area is the parietal ridge. So I'm going to make sure that I transition my haircut from the parietal ridge out. So I'm going to leave some weight in here. This is where most of the shape of your haircuts take place. A lot of times people are cutting into that and changing the shape of the cut. What we're going to do is use that as a point in where we're going to transition the haircut from the bottom to the top. Little clipper over comb technique. I'm gonna leave this open. So whenever I'm doing clipper over comb, what I don't want to do is I don't want my clipper to be below the comb. If it's below the comb, what happens is I can cut into the hair and create a pothole. So this is like my one guard. I want to make sure that my comb and my clipper are parallel with one another, and I'm staying above this because this is essentially a one guard. Whenever I angle this out, I'm actually creating more distance away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my clipper open, and I'm going to just try to create my weight from the rip. Transition that right off. When I'm trying to figure out the shape of this cut, I want this weight up top. So because I want this weight up top and I want this to be a little closer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up. And if you can see, when I lift this up, there's no hair here. Right. This is my guide that I initially created. My guide is also at the top. So when I lift this up, see that guide right there? Mm-hmm. And then there's a guide here. So I'm using this to create my cut. As you can see, now I have that weight. Tilt your head for me. Again, my guide is right here, top and bottom. I'm going to transition that right across. Now I'm going to take a look at that. You see how I have that weight continue to follow me down. Again, my guide is at the top and the bottom, and I'm removing that weight. You can see that weight travels all the way down to the bottom. Now, to fine tune that, I'm going to just angle this a little bit. I'm looking for my guide the entire time. I'm not adding any pressure to my comb because what I don't want to do is if I push on my comb, I'll push in and create light spots in the hair, and I don't want to do that. So I'm traveling down. I put the comb in here. As I begin to pivot this comb out or roll out technique, I'm creating a transition from my 1/8 into the length that I want and the weight that I'm trying to create at the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm taking my clipper, I'm holding it at about a 90 degree because what I don't want to do is cut into the weight of her hair. So I'm going to leave this at a 90 degree angle. When it's not cutting what I want, then I'm going to slowly transition down. This is important. What I want you to take a look at here is, turn this off. So my number 2 is about a 1/4 inch away from the scalp. So the cutting blade from here to here is about 1/4 inch away from the scalp. When I begin to tilt this up from this cutting point and I pivot this up, I'm actually increasing the length in which I'm being cut from the head. So this is essentially an easy way to remove weight without cutting into it and create another length with the same exact guard. You don't have to keep switching guards in between cuts. That's going to help with speed. It's going to help with consistency as long as you learn how to maneuver from a 90, 45, and 0 right off of the scout.